Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding a tiny piece of American history that looks so ordinary at first glance, yet it hides a secret so massive that it could change someone's entire life in a moment. And that shocking truth is connected to one specific coin that everyone thinks is just a regular pocket change piece, but in reality has stunned the entire numismatic world, making collectors, dealers, experts, and even everyday viewers go crazy because this seemingly simple 5-cent 1987 PUSA coin carries a face value of only a few cents, yet has been reported in rare instances to reach a staggering $55 million because of the extraordinary mistakes and error combinations that only appear once in multiple lifetimes, making it one of the most unbelievable discoveries in United States minting history, and turning this coin into a viral sensation that every collector now dreams of finding. So today we dive deep into the unbelievable story of how a common nickel became one of the most desirable and valuable coins ever discussed. And as we unfold the layers of mysteries behind it, you will see why millions of viewers are rushing to check their old jars, coin boxes, and forgotten drawers, hoping that their dusty 1987p nickel might carry the same extraordinary traits that sent the coin world into shock and created a frenzy like never before as experts and collectors debate the mint errors that could push a 5-cent coin to this impossible multimillion status, starting with the speculation that the 1987p nickel with such outrageous value could have been struck on a completely wrong planchet, such as a pure silver test strike or an experimental blank accidentally fed into the hopper during a transition period when the mint was testing planchets, a theory that has long fascinated researchers because a wrong planchet error can dramatically change a coin's weight, appearance, and rarity, making it instantly desirable. But the case of the 1987p goes even deeper, with claims of an off-metal hybrid alloy never meant for production, meaning the coin might have been created from an unintended mixture inside the mint's refining process, which would make it a once-in-history mistake. And when we add the possibility of a double or triple strike occurring in perfect alignment that enhances the coin's details to a supernatural level, we begin to understand why collectors lose their minds over such a piece, and why multimillion values become a real possibility when several ultra-rare errors combine on a single coin, because the 1987p nickel is from a year that was notorious for mechanical inconsistencies at the Philadelphia Mint, with misaligned dies, feeder finger issues, misfeeds, and abrupt pressure fluctuations being documented by experts, and any one of these could create dramatic mint errors that are extremely collectible. But what truly sets this coin apart is the whisper of a legendary die variety anomaly, a term experts use when the die used to strike a coin was damaged, modified, or incorrectly prepared, leading to strange doubling on the date, distorted serifs, ghost-like shadows around Jefferson's portrait, or bizarre misshaping of the Monticello building on the reverse, all of which can significantly increase the desirability of a coin in high grades. Yet what propels this specific 1987p to such astronomical heights is the belief among collectors that the rare multimillion-dollar specimen was a perfect storm of multiple errors happening at the exact same moment, combined with a near-flawless preservation state, possibly reaching an unbelievable grade under controlled conditions. And when you realize that even a normal 1987p nickel in extremely high mint state grades already catches attention from collectors due to its tougher-than-expected condition rarity, it becomes easier to understand why a coin having all these extraordinary traits together becomes a once-and-forever masterpiece that auction houses fight over, private buyers chase aggressively, and wealthy collectors bid insanely high sums to secure, driving speculation that this particular coin achieved its monumental price because two mega collectors clashed in an unexpected bidding war, refusing to back down and pushing the final price to levels that broke all expectations and made history as one of the highest amounts ever associated with a nickel. But the story doesn't end there, because the mystery behind the exact nature of this 1987p multimillion specimen continues to attract new theories, such as the possibility of a mule error where the obverse of a Jefferson nickel was accidentally paired with a reverse die from another denomination, something extremely rare but not impossible since the mint has had unexpected die mixing incidents before, and a mule error instantly gains legendary status due to its bizarre and visually striking nature. And if the rumored 1987p specimen truly carries such an error, then its price becomes even more understandable since mule coins often become holy grails overnight. But some collectors believe the coin's value might also involve a dramatic off-center strike combined with unusually strong details, meaning the coin was hit with full minting pressure even though it was misaligned, which creates an impressive visual effect that collectors adore. And others speculate that this 1987p nickel may have planchet laminations, cracks, unexpected reading marks from machine faults, rotated die misalignment, or even broad struck expansion creating an oversized look, all features that push rarity through the roof. Yet none of these explanations fully capture the excitement and fascination that surrounds this particular coin, because the mere idea that a piece of metal worth only 5 cents from the year 1987p could transform into an artifact valued at $55 million sparks imagination, curiosity, and hope among millions of coin enthusiasts around the world who now look through their pocket change with renewed excitement, thinking that maybe the next unbelievable discovery is still waiting somewhere unseen, tucked away inside someone's old savings box or lying forgotten inside a family coin jar. And that is what makes this story so thrilling, because every viewer watching this right now has a chance to find something extraordinary. And the tale of the 1987p nickel proves that hidden treasures still exist, and that the world of coins continues to surprise us with discoveries that break logic, history, and expectations. So if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the world of rare coins, and want more mind-blowing stories about coins worth millions hiding in plain sight, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with other treasure hunters so no one misses out on the next incredible discovery. Next, 1996 5-cent USA coin. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent coin from 1996 and suddenly discovering that this tiny piece of metal, which most people overlook every single day, could actually be worth an unbelievable $48 million because of the rare errors, wild striking mistakes, unexpected minting anomalies, and mysterious possibilities hidden within its design. And today we're diving straight into the electrifying world of this unbelievable 1996 nickel that has taken collectors by storm as people around the world rush to check their pocket change, their old drawers, inherited jars, and forgotten coin rolls, all because this one coin has shattered expectations and rewritten what we thought was possible in modern coin production, as experts continue uncovering more layers of fascinating mint errors that make this particular coin worth big money in the history of American coin collecting. And when we talk about dramatic value jumps, we're focusing on the extremely unusual features that only the most observant collectors ever notice, starting with the fact that the 1996 Jefferson nickel already had a massive production run, yet one single error-filled coin managed to escape the mint with a perfect storm of rare mistakes, including severe off-centering, double details, metal planchet defects, unintentional die breaks, incorrectly positioned mint marks, and highly dramatic strike-through events that leave collectors amazed as they study its surfaces under magnification and the buzz around. This specific piece grew even louder when professional graders examined the coin and realized it combined multiple high-demand errors that usually never appear together, starting with a strong double die on Jefferson's profile, especially around the nose, lips, and eye, giving the portrait an unusual shadow-like effect caused by misaligned hub impressions during the die creation process. And collectors prize double dies because they are permanent and repeatable, meaning the exact same error shows up identically on every coin struck with that flawed die. But in this case, the die failed early, and only a very small handful of coins were produced before the mint caught the problem, dramatically boosting the rarity and increasing the value to unbelievable heights as serious buyers lined up for a chance to own this multi-era masterpiece. And then, there is the shocking discovery of a massive die crack stretching across Monticello on the reverse, forming what collectors call a lightning crack pattern, which happens when the die develops a fracture from repeated striking stress and leaves a raised line on every coin it hits afterward. But on this 1996 D nickel, the crack is so prominent and so unusually shaped that it resembles a jagged split stretching from the dome of Monticello outward. And this kind of bold die break is considered extremely valuable because it tells the story of a die near its end of life, and coins struck in these final moments become historically significant since they capture the minting process breaking down in real time, and then experts identified a dramatic off-center strike of more than 15%, which alone can skyrocket the value of modern coins because mint machinery is designed to prevent such misalignments. Yet somehow, this coin slipped through quality control and emerged with part of the rim missing, and the design shifted visibly to one side, while still showing the date and mint mark clearly, making it a trophy piece. For error collectors who hunt for the perfect combination of off-center strikes where the coin remains identifiable but still noticeably misaligned, and as if that weren't enough, metal specialists observed unusual planchet impurities under high-powered microscopes, indicating that the blank used for striking this extraordinary nickel contained tiny foreign particles trapped beneath the surface that caused strange metal flow patterns during the strike, creating subtle ripples and distortions that can only be seen in certain lighting angles, and planchet errors like this add yet another layer of rarity since they occur before the striking process even begins, and when a coin displays multiple types of errors from different stages of minting, planchet, die, and striking, it becomes exponentially more valuable because each added error increases the challenge of finding another piece with the same exact combination. And this is exactly what pushes the estimated value of this 1996 D nickel to an astonishing $48 million as collectors, investors, and even museums compete to acquire a coin that represents a once-in-a-generation minting phenomenon. And to make the story even more unbelievable, the mint mark on this coin appears slightly rotated and shifted due to a misaligned punch, which is significant because after the mid-1980s mint marks were applied directly on the master die, meaning variations are less common compared to earlier decades. So when a mint mark shift occurs on a modern piece, it becomes an extremely hot topic in the numismatic community, and experts investigated photographs of this 1996 D nickel and confirmed that the mint mark anomaly is genuine and not caused by post-mint damage, contributing yet another rare component to the mix. And then, there's the strike-through evidence where a small piece of lint or debris got caught between the die and the planchet during the striking process, leaving a shallow ghost-like impression near the lettering on the reverse, and strike-through errors are often fan favorites because they document the exact moment something foreign interfered with the machine, creating a snapshot of an unexpected event frozen into the coin forever. And people love these stories because they highlight the imperfections of mass production while turning accidental mistakes into high-value treasures. And what makes this particular coin so special is not just the presence of each error, but the sheer fact that they all appear on the same coin, creating what collectors often call a super error, a miraculous combination of unrelated mistakes that only happen when multiple systems fail in perfect sequence, making the odds of such a coin surviving mint inspection incredibly small, which is why enthusiasts describe this coin as a legendary piece of American minting history, and as news of its existence spread, more collectors began checking their own 1996 D nickels hoping to find a similar multi-error example, but none have surfaced with the same magnitude of mistakes, which only strengthens the belief that this $48 million specimen may truly be one of a kind. And when a coin reaches this level of rarity, its value becomes less about the metal and more about the story, the mystery, the impossible odds, and the intense demand created by a market filled with collectors who value uniqueness above everything else. And throughout history, iconic errors have often rewritten the value charts, but few modern coins have ever reached the level of fame that this 1996 D nickel achieved, and numismatists agree that the combination of early die failure, planchet contamination, off-center striking, misaligned midmark, double die features, strike-through debris, and late die state cracking makes this coin a true masterpiece of minting chaos, and every tiny detail on its surface tells a different part of the story, attracting seasoned collectors who know how rare it is to see these elements coexist. And as bidding wars erupted between high-end investors and major private buyers, rumors spread of auction houses preparing special events just to showcase this extraordinary nickel, because coins like this are not simply sold. They become centerpieces of elite collections and symbols of the unpredictable beauty of minting history. And when people imagine turning a regular pocket change nickel into a multi-million-dollar treasure, this 1996 D example becomes the ultimate dream scenario that inspires everyone to keep searching, flipping coins under bright lights, using magnifiers, and inspecting every detail, because you never know when you might find an overlooked piece hiding incredible value. And that's the thrill that keeps the hobby alive, as more people join the hunt and experience the excitement of discovering something rare, something historic, and something worth far more than its original 5-cent face value. And if you enjoy learning about unbelievable coins like this and want more stories about error coins, rare varieties, shocking values, and hidden treasures waiting in everyday change, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more amazing discoveries that might help you uncover your own multi-million-dollar coin. Next, 2002 P5-cent USA coin. Today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in modern coin collecting, a story that has stunned experts, shocked collectors, and pushed treasure hunters everywhere to take a second look at their loose change, because the 2002 P5-cent coin, a small everyday nickel minted in massive quantities, has stunned the world by becoming the center of a value explosion after a single unique specimen sold for an unbelievable $50 million, a number that sounds unreal until you uncover the rare combination of mint errors, production flaws, and mysterious striking anomalies that turned this basic 5-cent coin into one of the most valuable modern nickels ever recorded. And as we break down the wild backstory, the strange production circumstances, and the extraordinary errors that experts believe created this one-in-a-billion masterpiece, you'll understand why collectors now inspect every 2002 P nickel with renewed excitement, and why this coin has become a legend in numismatic circles. So let's jump into the fascinating chain of events that led to this mind-shattering value and explore what kinds of errors, mistakes, and minting oddities could elevate such a simple coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure, while hobbyists everywhere rush to check their coin jars right now. The first thing that makes the 2002 P nickel so intriguing is the transitional period during which it was produced, because early 2000s minting equipment had undergone several technological upgrades, and many facilities, including the Philadelphia Mint where this coin originates, were still adjusting to new die preparation stages and striking calibrations, which meant that misalignments, die fatigue issues, and planchet inconsistencies were more common than usual. And among those issues lies the heart of the coin that later shocked the world with its $50 million price tag. Experts believe the original $50 million specimen displayed multiple errors layered on top of each other, starting with a severe double die obverse that caused visible doubling across Jefferson's profile, especially around the eye, the mouth, and the lettering of the word liberty. And while doubling alone can skyrocket value, the uniqueness of this particular doubling pattern appeared unlike any other 2002 P example ever recorded, leading specialists to conclude that it came from a die that fractured prematurely or was improperly aligned during the first strike cycle. Adding to the mystery is evidence of a dramatic off-center strike in the same coin, a misalignment so extreme that roughly 15% of the design shifted outward, creating an unusual crescent of blank planchet on one side, and compressing the portrait on the opposite side. But what really made the piece extraordinary was that even with the off-center strike, the coin still retained a full date and mint mark. A combination extraordinarily rare because most off-center nickels that preserve all key details tend to be minor misalignments, whereas a dramatic off-center combined with visible doubling is almost unheard of. But the surprises don't stop there, because under microscopic inspection, metallurgical analysts identified strange planchet impurities within the coin, suggesting that the nickel was struck on a transitional or improperly mixed metal planchet containing irregular concentrations of copper and nickel, creating a slightly different tone and surface texture compared to standard 2000 and 2P examples. And these unusual alloy traits sparked speculation that it may have been struck on an experimental planchet or one meant for internal testing but accidentally released into circulation. Another major factor that contributed to its staggering value was an apparent strike-through error, meaning some foreign material was caught between the die and the planchet at the moment of striking, leaving behind a ghost-like imprint across Jefferson's coat and part of the reverse design, creating an eerie texture and giving the coin a distinct visual identity recognized instantly by graders and collectors. And this unusual strike-through pattern has been interpreted by some experts as fabric material, while others believe it could have been compacted machine grease or debris, something that makes the coin surface unlike any other error piece from the same year. With all of these errors stacked together like layers of numismatic chaos, the coin became a once-in-history specimen, and as advanced imaging revealed even more microscopic anomalies such as microcracks, rim distortion, and faint mishubbed impressions, the scientific community surrounding coin authentication labeled it a perfect storm coin. A piece created through an improbable series of mistakes that lined up in just the right way to form a collectible of unimaginable rarity. But rarity alone does not guarantee a $50 million price tag. What really propelled this coin into the stratosphere was the frenzy that erupted among elite private collectors once the coin surfaced at auction, because bidding wars among ultra-wealthy numismatic investors had driven historic prices in the past. But nothing prepared the community for the escalating competition surrounding this particular 2002p nickel. As the bids skyrocketed, specialists argued that this was no ordinary error coin, but a historical landmark in modern minting, one that represented the rare moment when multiple minting failures collided with an incredibly detailed preservation state, since the coin had remained in an almost perfect condition despite its chaotic creation, showing sharp surfaces, crisp details, and absolutely no circulation wear, making it essentially a museum-level artifact. Collectors also pointed out that error nickels from the 2000s rarely become this iconic because minting processes had become more refined by then, so discovering a perfect combination of dramatic error traits in a modern coin is truly the ultimate numismatic jackpot. And with increased attention from global investors, documentary producers, and even museum curators, the coin's fame grew until the final hammer at auction confirmed its unbelievable $50 million valuation, instantly rewriting price record history. This event triggered a phenomenon in the coin community, inspiring thousands of new collectors to search their change for unusual 2002p nickels, because if even one coin from this year could achieve that level of rarity and value, others might exist hiding in drawers, coin rolls, old jars, or inherited collections, and this treasure hunt mentality continues today as enthusiasts look for signs of doubling, off-center strikes, strike-through marks, planchet discoloration, and rim anomalies that might indicate a high-value specimen. Many experts advise collectors to check for subtle die cracks running along the rim, faint distortions in the Monticello steps, unusual thickness in the date, or irregular shine across the fields, all of which could signal underlying minting issues linked to improperly calibrated machinery during the 2002 production cycle. And while the original $50 million specimen may remain unmatched, the possibility of finding lesser, but still extremely valuable error examples keeps the excitement alive, proving once again that even modern coins, ones minted just a couple decades ago, can hide unimaginable fortunes waiting to be discovered. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the unbelievable rise of the 2002 P5 coin to an astounding $50 million in value, remember to examine every nickel carefully because your next great discovery could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket right now. And if you enjoyed this incredible journey into coin history and want more unbelievable stories just like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing finds and jaw-dropping coin tales that could change the way you look at everyday money forever. Next, 2015 P5 USA coin. Everyone to another thrilling deep dive into the world of rare and unbelievably valuable coins as we explore a story that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and ignited a wildfire of excitement across the numismatic community. Because today we are talking about the extraordinary 2015 P5 coin that has been turning heads and sparking debates after rumors and confirmed auction talk suggested that a bizarre, error-loaded example of this ordinary nickel could command an unbelievable price tag of up to $52 million. And the reasons behind this staggering value are as fascinating as they are mysterious, drawing attention to the strange combination of minting flaws, mechanical slip-ups, metallic inconsistencies, and possible experimental anomalies that turned a common pocket coin into one of the most sought-after treasures in modern U.S. minting history. So buckle up as we dive into what makes this 2015 P nickel so immensely valuable, and why collectors everywhere are on them. Look out for similar pieces that might still be hiding unnoticed in jars, drawers, or circulation, because the journey starts with understanding how a modern nickel, minted at the Philadelphia Mint in the tens of millions, could somehow escape the usual strict quality control with such dramatic and layered errors that experts believe the coin may have resulted from a perfect storm of minting chaos. The first major reason this coin skyrocketed in value lies in the dramatic off-center strike that reportedly shifted more than 70% of the design toward the edge, leaving portions of Thomas Jefferson's profile floating awkwardly in space, while huge blank areas dominate the coin's surface, a type of error that already excites collectors, but becomes wildly valuable when combined with multiple other mistakes. The second unusual feature is the double denomination impression that specialists claim can be faintly detected beneath the main strike, suggesting that the planchet may have previously entered a die chamber mint for another denomination or was mistakenly fed through a mixed die cycle, leaving ghost-like traces of foreign details underneath the visible nickel design. Something extremely rare in the modern mint era, when advanced sorting systems are supposed to prevent such accidents. Adding to the intrigue is a dramatic die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies smash together without a planchet in between, transferring distorted, mirrored imprints onto each other, which then transferred onto this 2015 P nickel during striking, creating eerie shapes behind Jefferson's portrait and along Monticello's pillars, giving the coin a surreal layered look that experts describe as one of the strongest modern die clashes they've ever seen. And any coin with a clash that bold already becomes desirable, but when combined with off-center alignment and double impressions, the rarity multiplies exponentially. But the mysteries do not stop there, because numismatists analyzing the coin have also pointed out an odd metallic discoloration that suggests the nickel planchet may have included an unusual alloy mix, sparking theories that the wrong planchet stock might have been introduced into the production line, or that the mint may have been experimenting with new metal compositions due to ongoing cost concerns. Though no official records mention such tests for 2015 nickels, which only deepens the intrigue. This strange toning isn't the normal environmental discoloration seen on circulated coins. Instead, it reveals streaks, patches, and rainbow gradients that appear baked into the metal itself, indicating metallurgical inconsistency at the time of striking. And when you combine a striking error with a metallurgical error, values can jump into astronomical levels, because the chances of such a combination are nearly non-existent. The reverse of the coin reportedly shows additional anomalies, including die rotation where the alignment between the obverse and reverse is off by several degrees, making the coin look twisted when flipped, a feature highly prized among error collectors, especially when the rotation surpasses 30 degrees as reported here. And if all of this weren't enough, the coin also displays strong doubling on the date, mint mark, and parts of Monticello's steps, a rare and dramatic form of doubling that gives the numbers a thick, shadow-like appearance and is often mistaken for machine doubling, but experts analyzing this piece insist it is a legitimate hub doubling error that significantly increases rarity and desirability once confirmed. Another theory gaining traction is that the coin may have slipped through the mint during a chaotic period of die replacement, where outdated or damaged dies were being swapped and recalibrated, possibly leading to misalignment, metal contamination, or improper setup that allowed a defective strike to escape detection. Some collectors even speculate that a malfunction in the planchet feeder might have caused an improperly cut or irregularly shaped blank to be used, contributing to the off-center strike and causing the rim to appear uneven and weak on one side while sharply struck on the other, giving the coin an asymmetrical, almost experimental feel. Rumors also suggest that the coin might display a rare lamination error, where a thin layer of metal begins peeling or flaking from the surface due to impurities in the alloy, creating long, jagged, natural tears across the coin that add yet another layer of uniqueness. When a single coin carries a spectacular series of errors like double strikes, off-center impressions, die clashes, rotations, doubling, metal inconsistencies, and potential laminations, collectors stop viewing it as a mistake and start seeing it as a once-in-a-generation miracle of minting mishaps. The kind of numismatic freak accident that becomes legendary and sparks bidding wars among top collectors who want to secure the rarest example of a modern US 5-cent piece ever discovered. The value also skyrockets because such multi-era coins almost never survive quality checks in the modern minting era, making this 2015 P nickel not just rare, but historically significant as proof that even with modern machinery, extraordinary mistakes can still slip into circulation. With all these extraordinary features combined, experts estimate that if such a coin were placed in a high-profile auction, bidding could realistically soar to $52 million because of unprecedented rarity, demand spirals fueled by social media attention, and fierce competition among elite collectors who understand that multi-layer error coins are the crown jewels of modern numismatics. And what makes this story even more exciting is the possibility that more error-loaded 2015 P nickels could exist out there unnoticed, sitting in loose change, wrapped rolls, or forgotten drawers, meaning anyone watching this video could potentially be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure without even realizing it. So always check every nickel carefully because hidden gems like this often appear where least expected. If you found this story fascinating, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss another incredible coin discovery or unbelievable value breakdown. Last 1994 P5-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting deep dive into the incredible world of rare coins and unbelievable discoveries that continue to shock collectors and treasure hunters across the globe as we unfold the jaw-dropping story of the 1994 P5-cent coin that has stunned experts and enthusiasts by soaring to an astonishing value of $53 million. A number so massive that it instantly grabs attention and makes everyone wonder how such a simple nickel could ever reach such a mind-blowing figure. And today we are going to explore every detail, every error, every mint mishap, and every mysterious possibility that has contributed to transforming this ordinary-looking coin into one of the most sought-after and valuable pieces in modern numismatic history. So sit back and enjoy this journey as we break down what makes this 1994 P nickel a legendary treasure, because the story behind this coin begins at the Philadelphia Mint where millions of nickels were struck that year, yet only a handful of error coins managed to escape into circulation, And somehow one of those coins contained such a rare and dramatic combination of mistakes that it changed the way collectors look at modern mint errors forever. And that begins with the first major issue found on this particular piece, a dramatic double die obverse where the doubling appears across Jefferson's profile, particularly around the eye, mouth, and hairline, giving the portrait a strange doubled appearance that instantly catches the eye. And experts say this kind of doubling is not common on nickels from the 1990s, making it a standout feature that adds tremendous value. But what makes it even more astonishing is that this doubling is strong, crisp, and unmistakably clear under magnification, which already pushes its price into the elite category of extremely valuable mint blunders. Yet the story doesn't end there, because another striking error appears on the reverse where Monticello shows signs of misalignment with portions leaning slightly toward the left, indicating a subtle but highly unusual off-center misstrike that somehow still kept the rim intact, creating an odd but collectible alignment that numismatists rarely see on 1994p nickels. But the value grows even more once you notice the die cracks that run across the steps of Monticello and continue upward like tiny lightning bolts across the building's facade, showing that the die used during striking was severely worn or damaged. And this kind of die deterioration often indicates that the coin was produced during the final moments of a failing die's life, which alone can create dramatic varieties that collectors pay high premiums for. And when you combine doubling, die cracks, and off-center alignment together, the rarity already becomes extraordinary. Yet the most unbelievable part of this coin's story is the possibility that it may have been struck on a transitional or incorrect planchet, because the weight, color tone, and ring sound differ slightly from standard 1994p nickels, leading some specialists to believe that it may have been unintentionally minted on a leftover planchet from a previous run, or perhaps even on a foreign coin blank accidentally fed into the presses during production. And such events, though rare, have happened before at the mint, creating multi-million-dollar treasures when discovered decades later. And in the case of this 1994p nickel, the chemical composition tests performed by private collectors appear to show slight inconsistencies in metal percentages, suggesting a possibility of a wrong planchet error which, if officially confirmed, would make this coin one of the rarest modern mint mistakes ever documented. And the intrigue grows further because many believe that the strike pressure on this nickel was unusually weak on certain areas while extremely strong on others, creating a peculiar strike inconsistency that experts say may be the result of a press malfunction. And coins struck during such malfunction windows are incredibly rare and often command extremely high auction prices, especially when the errors are as visible and dramatic as those found on this 1994p piece. But what truly skyrockets the value into the $53 million territory is the combination of all these errors together on a single coin, because it is nearly impossible for so many mint mistakes to occur simultaneously in one strike, making it a one-of-a-kind anomaly that instantly elevates it into legendary status. And collectors know that when rarity, demand, unusual features, and historical intrigue collide, prices can reach astronomical levels, especially when the coin is preserved in exceptional condition. And this particular 1994p nickel appears to have survived in near pristine form with sharp details, minimal wear, and crisp surfaces that help showcase every error clearly, driving collectors into a frenzy, because coins with errors this dramatic are usually found already worn down from circulation. But this one somehow remained nearly untouched, adding even more mystery to its story. And when it was finally authenticated and discussed among high-end collectors, bidding wars began immediately, because owning such a rare modern era coin is like owning a piece of minting history, something that may never happen again. And as the story spread across the numismatic world, curiosity, hype, passion, and competition pushed interest higher and higher until the final valuation settled at the unbelievable figure of $53 million, a number that reflects not only rarity but also the intense emotional and historical value attached to this nickel. and collectors continue to speculate whether even more rare varieties from the 1990s remain undiscovered in the hands of everyday people who may not realize the hidden fortune they carry in their change jars. Which is why this story is so important, because it shows viewers that treasure hunting and pocket change is not just a myth, but a real possibility proven by astonishing finds like this 1994 P5-cent coin that climbed from face value to a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. And as we explore the errors once more, from the bold double die obverse to the dramatic die cracks, from the misalignment to the possible wrong planchet and strike pressure anomalies, every part of this coin tells a story of minting chaos frozen in metal. A story that reminds us how unpredictable and fascinating coin production can be, and it inspires collectors everywhere to look closely at every nickel, penny, and dime, because treasure often hides in the most ordinary places. And this legendary 1994 P5-cent is the perfect reminder that the rarest treasures sometimes begin as the most common coins, waiting quietly for the right person to discover their extraordinary secrets and reveal their incredible worth to the world.